this is the latest trailer for a franchise that you really like. Explain the concept behind The Purge.
Set in America, and it's 24 hours where people can commit any crime that they want. And they think it's a release of anger that they feel, including murder, basically. So
in a brutal world with so much horror, some filmmaker comes up with such a hideous premise.
I think it's clever because I think there's a lot of anger in the world that people are showing.
Yeah, so you show people being criminal in all sorts of hideous ways.
It's not making the film because he agrees with it. He makes people that are against the purge try and fix it.
I think the filmmakers would originally have said this is a metaphor for where our capitalist society could end up.
Yeah.
That we are so controlled.
Not just people's disgusting need to see violence.
Possibly.
I bet there's going to be violence, murder, blood and rape.
You're probably right.
Lovely.
Okay, so on that note, let's watch it.
Tonight allows people a release for all the hatred and violence that they keep up inside them.
This won't bring him back.
Shame on you, filmmakers.
Thank you. It is a night that is defining our country.
Neon
Citizens, this will be a tradition we celebrate every year. Join the First Purge.
Isaiah, come say bye.
Go do your thing, sis.
Always.
I'll see you tonight.
People are now calling this controversial experiment of legalized crime the Purge.
You and Isaiah, just stay with me during the purge.
Oh, we're gonna be fine on our own.
We are here with Dr. May Updale. She came up with this experiment. Is the purge a political device?
It is a psychological one. If we want to save our country, we must release all our anger in one night.
Pranked by a motorbike.
We'll see the good and evil in everyone.
This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement
It's
of
like
our
the Hunger
First
Games.
Purge.
Our neighborhood is under siege from a government who doesn't give a shit about any of us.
At the siren, all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 hours.
There's a lot of good people out there who we're gonna have to protect.
All emergency services will be suspended.
We gotta be prepared for anything.
Your government thanks you for your participation.
Parties, you predicted a much higher level of participation.
Human nature does not obey the laws of politics.
What the hell is going on?
They all ex-military. Something funky going down, D.
You're sending soldiers into the island disguised as citizens.
This country needs for this to work.
No one's coming to help us. After tonight, nothing will ever be the same again.
They forgot about one thing. They forgot about us.
What have I done?
Run! Stay strong now. I'm coming.
Just remember all the good the Purge does.
Just remember all the good The Purge does. So, I think that's a perfect film for a date night. Don't you?
With me.
Yeah. So how does that make you feel?
Well, just shame on the filmmakers.
Okay, but
you can't just say. You have to think about how clever the premise
listen,
is.
Maddie. You might want to get as angry as you want to with me about
I'm
me
not
not
angry,
liking
I'm
those
just
sort of
You're
films.
angrier.
Those films
You're angrier.
make me incandescent. I think it lacks imagination. It is just a cheap buck, a cheap thrill. It plays into people's worst voyeuristic, masochistic, sadomasochistic perversions.
So why do you think Maddie is a very, you respect her opinion, why do you think she might be drawn to it?
Because I think it's natural for teenagers to be drawn to it. I mean, when I was a teenager, you always wanted to watch something dreadful so you could say you watched it and you were shocked, and so you could have the argument with your parents. It's a rite of passage to watch it. I've got no problem with teens wanting to watch it, and I understand why they do.
Right.
But what I do have a problem with is that filmmakers that make this with, and you can give me any idea that you want as to what they're really trying to say. It's brutal.
Maddie, what do you think?
Yeah, but they know it's brutal. That's the point. but I think it's actually a very clever premise.
Okay.
I don't think they're necessarily great films. I think they could be made better.
Very true. I was gonna
The
say
first one was the best. They've kind of made a bit too many now. And it was weird because I didn't like the trailer, but at the same time I had goosebumps because I wanted to see it. It's not very well made, but
I mean, it's
you
terrible.
know,
It looks awful.
me and my friends, and I know many older people that aren't teens, really like the premise because it shows, you know, all of our leaders today are very brutal and they're having these massive rows over Twitter about firing bombs at each other and all of this. And I think because it's the government that's decided to start the purge in the movies, I think it's just a way
Showing
of
the manipulation.
showing the manipulation and how they don't really care about the people that they're leading. And I think it's really clever because it is brutal, but the film is always set around the characters that don't agree with it and are trying
Very
to
good point.
fight against the government to fix it. It's
So
quite
you're
like
seeing
the Hunger
good.
Games.
Do you see good triumph over evil then?
I mean, I don't just see it as a brutal film that's pointlessly made with
Are there women? Is there rape in this film?
No, there's never rape in the films.
Each of the films I've seen, I think have I seen two of them. I think my concern with it is they are squeezing the last residues out of the idea with the fourth Purge by going back. It's actually a prequel before the first setting of the first film. So I mean, I think, you know, they'll have purged the Purge by the end of this.
Yeah.
But I do think that within the original idea, which I watched,
The filmmakers are just making it to titillate people's need
absolutely.
for violence. There's no.
And also, yeah, I mean, they're stringing it out. But I do think, as Maddie says, the original idea, which is obviously still there in all of them,
It was
it's
a
the
different
same
director.
idea.
The first one was a different director, and he came at it in a different way than these ones have. They're making it too like a horror film now.
Yeah.
What's this one?
This is the fourth one, but it's the
But it's
fourth
a
one
prequel.
set as the prequel. So if you were to watch them in the correct order, you'd watch
Be
this
this
one
one
first. Yeah, which is always very clever because what they're saying to people is, all the new people who go and see this film, you've got 3 other back catalogue ones to watch. My concern with it is that they've just over-purged the Purge.
Yeah, I'm still going to see it though. Because I've seen
I'm
all
very
of them.
pleased that you say there's no rape in it because when I saw that trailer, I thought, oh my god, I bet there's going to be so
there's
much
in one
of
of
that.
them. There's a man who's kind of like making a woman feel uncomfortable, but he gets murdered.
Right. There's a lot of vengeance
Well,
meted.
I bet you can guess I won't be watching that
I
film.
think we should go on a date to see it. I think it'd be really nice. I think you'd love it. It'd be really
I think you need
romantic.
your other girlfriend for it.